I'm following up a video I did on winter stoves and fuels for stoves, and I ended that video talking a little bit about wood, and I want to talk a little bit more about wood heat and about hot tenting. And basically what you see here is all the equipment needed for some lightweight hot tenting. I've got a pyramid tent, which is like a mega mid. It's got a stove jack sewed into it and snow flaps. I've got a little canvas bag here that has all the stuff necessary to put that stove up, and it's also got a special little bag here. And I also have a saw viver and a little Wetterling's hatchet, which you need for wood processing. All of this equipment weighs well under 10 pounds together, probably about 7 pounds, and this weighs about 2 pounds, or a little less than 2 pounds. And I wanted to talk a little bit about this. And this is a wood stove suitable for hot tending. And it's a special kind of a wood stove. It's by Tigoat. And there's been some interest on this on one of the forums, and people asked to see how it goes together, so I thought I would show how it goes together. And it's quite an ingenious little design. I've made all sorts of wood stoves, but this caught my eye so much that it got some of my hard-earned cash. So this is titanium, and it's got 2 end plates. So these are the end plates, and you can see that it's already at a burn. And I've got a number of there's a number of small little things here that you need to keep well, and some people are worried that you can lose parts, and you can if you're not careful. And it's basically a foil stove. So this is titanium foil, and this is all the equipment that's necessary, including the chimney pipe. And it's all quite ingenious. I've had some experience with this chimney pipe for many years, and so I've decided to finally go whole hog and buy this little stove. The pipe is titanium, and this is foil. It's been burnt once. It wasn't a really hot burn, so it's not quite tempered. Once it's burnt once, it's fairly easy to put together. You just unroll it. And you can see it's already starting to form the tube. Once it's had a few more hot burns in it, the whole thing will temper, and that'll snap into a tube right off the bat. And that's an 8-foot long pipe. The stove itself is made of these 2 end plates that put together this titanium foil. And basically the titanium foil is rolled into a circle. A few minutes later you'll have the stove set up, and we'll get back and look at stove setup, but I wanted to take a little look at it. First of all, the structural elements is you've got the titanium end plates. They're basically look like they're plates that have been had legs. Looks like they're welded or soldered on. Must be welded on. Little removable door. Fairly big hole there at the front for feeding. Number of air holes. They have 3 rods that go across. They're threaded rods, and they're steel rods, and they use the end here as structural elements. So even though this is very light foil, you actually have a fair bit of strength there. You can put a full-size pot on here full of water, and the stress will be taken to the structural elements and not borne by the foil. It's a very, very clever design. So that acts as a pot support. So it's pretty strong. People have asked me, because with a lot of stoves, the stoves will crinkle up and crumple up from the heat. This titanium seems not to do that, possibly because it's in tension and compression at the same time with the end plates and with the ring. So it's a wonderful, wonderful piece of design. And now we'll take a little look at how to put it together. So let's review the parts that we have. First of all, we've got the titanium foil for the stove body. We've got the ends. We've got 2 rings to keep the stove together. We've got the little tiny door, probably weighs a half an ounce, and we've got some rods here. And these rods, looking at the corrosion patterns, geez, I think they're titanium rods too. Yeah, that's the sign of titanium, and looking at the weight of them. So this is all good stuff. So I'm going to call my lovely assistant Katie in. Not that we even need Katie, because it's pretty easy, but she likes to help when we're learning. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to roll that body up, and I'll get Kate to help me with those rings. Put the rings on, that ring on, the other ring on. Okay, now let's let this come on a little bit. And, it's a little finicky, but not too bad. Okay. And now we'll put the stovepipe side down onto the, try to tighten that up, and we're going to use gravity as our frame here. So we'll twirl that around. So basically we got that down there. And we'll put the front plate on. Try to line them out about right, so they're about the right diameter. And then we put on the bottom. Just undo that a little bit, so we got lots to do here. And this keeps it all under tension so that the whole thing will stay together. So once we've got these three rods on, this will be good to go. Until we get them on, it's a little fragile, and if you hurry the process or are a little rough with it, it can spring apart. So that's the bottom. Now we'll put these three rods on the two rods on the top, and we're done. So
it's pretty easy to put together.
Yes, it is.
But in the beginning, it's a little hard. But
yeah, we had a few little lapses when we were learning how to do it. You want to twirl that there bolt for me? Good. So you keep on that one, and I'll put this one on. See, many hands make light work. Now, it's quite possible that, you know, if you're in the snow, you could lose pieces, so I would tend to, if I was outside, do this on a tarp. And that's experience working on snowmobiles out in the cold weather. You want to have a tarp so that you can lay stuff down, because stuff will disappear in the snow. So you don't want to have your stuff disappear in the snow. You tighten everything up. You don't have to do a gorilla here. You want to have it about equal tension. And then the door, very complicated to put the door on. And we're done. So that's the stove.